Comic Book Savant, episode 452. Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant podcast. I'm your host, James Harris. This episode, we're going to talk about comic book or online subscription services. It is a lot of rumblings going on in and around the comic book industry and outside of the comic book industry in the collective mediums attached to them, like television, movies, things of that nature. So I wanted to kind of drill down on the topic a little bit more, talk about some subscription services out there, and try my best to explain them to everyone. There's so many of them out there. We've talked about them quite a bit in recent months in the Facebook groups. I thought it was a good opportunity to try to have a larger discussion and bring the topic to everyone in the community that might not be a part of the Facebook group. As I've always talked about it before, you can find the group at facebook.com/groups/the Savant Society. You just request entry into the group. Once I see that you requested, I approve it, and you come right in. I normally do a post welcoming you to the group, and then from there you can post something separate, just describing yourself or introducing yourself to everyone, and then we just hit the ground running from there. I'm relatively active in the group, and other people are constantly in there. So, like, if you just have generalized questions for me or for the group, you can throw them out there. If you're wanting to, you're curious about starting a new book or reading something up on a new character and want to know like what's a good starting point, things like that. Those are the questions that normally get thrown out there. So if I can't get to it immediately, if you post it in the group, someone will chime in. We have built a really great community. We're about 42 members strong now, so it's grown over time. So I always like to throw it out there because it is a good environment for us to get to know one another and just to communicate as comic fans, which I've really enjoyed. The more people joining into the group and us communicating and us getting to know one another has been a great experience. Before I get down into the meat of the episode, I'd just like to give a shout out to my friends over at the Comics Podcast Network, which you can find over at comicspodcast.com. If you like what I do here and you're looking for more comic book related content to listen to, it's a great one-stop shop to go find similar content. Again, it's been around. The Comics Podcast Network has been around for about 10 to 12 years ish, I think, at this point. It's been around for quite a bit of time. Again, it's just a platform for podcasts, if you're a comic podcast fan, to find more content that you're looking for. And if you're an aspiring or starting out podcaster, is a platform to help grow your listenership and to cross promote like-minded people, and they do the same in return and hopes to grow both of your audiences. So it's a good kind of co-op type situation, and I've been a member since the inception to now. It's done nothing but wonders for me as far as helping growing my listenership, meeting similar podcasters, and connecting and making friends as well in that space. So it's been nothing but a blessing in that way as far as that's concerned. But with all that being said, let's jump into the topic at hand, which is digital subscription services. It's a lot out there and it can be confusing because, again, you have the whole crossover now with everything's just not comic books anymore. We have that cross-pollination between television, comics, print comics, digital comics, television, animation, and live film adaptations as well. And it's only getting more murkier or more confusing or more grander because they are these blockbuster movies. These movies, if you look at someone like Marvel, where their films now are averaging, a box office of $1 billion, a movie at this point, it's become big business, and a lot of people are interested, and they're pulling at the comic adaptations. They have become the new in thing. So we're going to start off with one of the longer running services that's been around is Marvel Unlimited. I want to say Marvel Unlimited, it's been around for over 10 years at this point. They were one of the companies that went on the forefront in offering comics available on a digital subscription based kind of service. They have two options you can pick from. You have the Marvel Unlimited, just standard, which you do a yearly subscription, which runs you about $69.99 a year. You can sign up for that. And they also have the Marvel Unlimited Plus, which is a yearly subscription of $99.99 a year. The difference between the two is that with the Plus, you get a few more bonuses and discounts. You also get like a welcome packet that gives you all like figures and pins, collectible pins that they normally give out like at comic conventions and things like that. So you get this whole welcome packet, and you get more bonuses as far as if you buy digital comics or if you buy merchandise from the Marvel store, you get bigger discounts. So it just would depend. The only thing that kind of hurts a service like Marvel Unlimited, you're limited to Marvel comics. But if you're a diehard Marvel fan and you want to read everything Marvel, then it pays off to subscribe to Marvel Unlimited. I have multiple videos on the YouTube channel where I discuss in detail and I do comparisons of some of these services. So if you want a deeper dive and a bigger breakdown or how each of these individual services compare to the other, check out youtube.com/comic book savant, and you go in the playlist for the comic book collector's guide. I have numerous videos because a lot of the viewers there requested me to do those kind of videos. So I've done a ton of them, which I haven't covered it as much here. And I'm trying to kind of correct that and talk about some of these services because the holidays are coming up. You know, a lot of times people can ask for these for gifts or they get them as gifts. So I wanted to kind of let you know what the landscape is looking like right now when it comes to kind of these offerings. And I know we've also discussed in the Facebook group as well as people starting to run out of space for physical comics. So they're doing like a transition where, you know, their treasured books they still buy either in floppy format, the monthly floppy format, or, you know, trades or hardcovers, and trying to conserve space. So they're starting to convert over where books they're not as enthusiastic about as far as collecting, but they just like to read. They're doing kind of like a half and half situation. And that's kind of how my personal process started when I converted over and getting rid of physical media and going more digital. It started as a kind of hybrid. The books that I loved and I collected that I wanted to have on my shelf, I kept buying and like collected in hardcover formats primarily. Towards the end of my 10 years, pretty much I would wait. But I was a diehard fan because I went from floppies. I had an eBay store, so I would sell my floppies, sell the floppies for the trade paperbacks. Then I would sell my trade paperbacks via my eBay store, and then buy whatever that exclusive hardcover, because sometimes they would come out maybe a year later after the books were released. So I kind of went through this upgrade process, and then after a while, because I was reading so many books, I think I just start buying. I would wait and just buy the trades, and then upgrade the trades to the hardcovers when or if they were released or omnibus form, and I would kind of do that, kind of cutting out buying floppies like altogether for a lot of stuff. Next up, we covered Marvel. We have DC Universe. So with DC Universe, they've been around for a little bit over a year now. They had a year anniversary, I think, in August or September. So DC Universe has been around for a little bit now. Their yearly subscription cost is about $74.99 a year. Now, they're different where Marvel is just comics, period. And I meant to mention this as well. With Marvel Unlimited, their books are normally like roughly on a 6-month delay. So you'll never have the most current books. You'll have that gap of 6 months between what's currently out on the shelves and selling to what is available on the service. And they have roughly, I mean, the library is growing, but I think they have, they tout over like 35,000 comics in their library for Marvel. So, you know, you definitely have a huge library to choose from. Let me see while I'm talking to you. Let's see what size, because they always are updating the numbers. And I want to say it is They always are touting. Where is it at? It says here 25,000. So library of roughly 25,000 comics. Also, since I have it pulled up, I'm just going to backtrack here. So yeah, so I was correct. So if you do sign up monthly, it's $9.99 a month. You end up saving a bunch more money by doing either the annual plan at $69, you save about $50, or if you do the annual plan. And I was looking at, like, right now, if you sign up for Marvel Plus, the actual kit you get like a limited edition Hasbro Marvel Legends Deadpool Terra Inc. Figure, not available anywhere else. You get a Scotty Young exclusive pen. You get 2 variant comics. You get a House of X #1 and a House of X #2 variant cover, and you get an X-Men patch. So it's an X-Men centric, like, bonus package that you get. Also, you get invites to exclusive Marvel events, and then you get 10% off Marvel merchandise at the Marvel shop. So you get that kind of extra benefit from just having the comics available to you. I've tried Marvel Unlimited numerous times, and they always have deals that pop up where you can sign up for, like, free trials for a month, or like they had a cute promotion when Ant-Man and the Wasp came out. It was like for a penny or for a dime or something like that. For a real minimum amount, you got a free month, or, at that cost, you got a month of the service. Or even if you're a part of the Marvel Insider program, which is basically just, if you sign up for the Marvel Comics site, you get points by doing stuff like just watching trailers or reading articles that you would otherwise read other places. If you do it through the site and you sign up for Marvel Insiders, they have points assigned to it. If you play, like, their mobile games and you link all your accounts and stuff like that, you get all these points, and you can actually redeem those points towards different rewards. And I've done that over time. I've gotten, like, trades that I had enough points built up, or digital trades or individual issues, like wallpapers you can get. And if you save up enough points, you can actually redeem points to actually get a month of the Marvel Unlimited service. It's not my favorite of the different services, because it's just restricted to Marvel, and I like to read a wide variety of stuff. But I don't knock anyone. I think if you are a diehard Marvel fan, I definitely can highly recommend it. Now, back to DC Universe. DC Universe is a different beast altogether, because they don't just incorporate comics, where Marvel Unlimited is just comics. DC Universe throws everything in the mix. You have comics, you have animation, you have live action movies, you have original television shows as well. So it's an evolution of the subscription model that Marvel built and perfected over the years with Marvel Unlimited. So it's a little bit a different beast. And like I said, they've been out. They just recently had their year anniversary back, like I said, August or September. Again, you have movies, TV, comic books. They also have, like Marvel, like the community tab feature where you can go up there and, you create your profile once you sign up for the service, and you can interact and communicate with different comic book fans on specific DC related topics. They have message boards and the whole like. And I am subscribed currently, and I have been for the majority of the time. I've been subscribed to DC Universe, and I have to say, at the beginning I was kind of against it because I felt like the content was kind of light. It costs before taxes $6.99 a month, and again the yearly cost is $74.99. Well, what they offer, I feel like, is good. It's been out for a while now. The content library has dropped. You have original series like Titans, you had Swamp Thing, you had Doom Patrol. Season 2 of Titans is out currently, which is a really good show, adult show. You have Harley Quinn that's getting ready to launch soon, which is original DC Universe show as well, more DC original content. In the comics library, it was a little bumpy road in what strategy they were going to use in the beginning as far as how they released comics. At first, they had a curated list, and it was kind of limiting you on what you can read and when you can read it and what was available. They moved away from that and then kind of adapted a similar to Marvel, like, hey, we're going to go kind of go and release the whole back catalog of DC Comics, to you guys. And they're pretty good. It's about roughly, I think, about a 6-month window gap as well. And they're constantly adding new books every month, and even day to day and week to week, they'll have a little section in their comic book section what books are new to read. So they're always filtering in new content onto the service, which is good. And for the money, I think it's robust. And partially why I got into the service in the beginning was partially to review it for the podcast as well as the YouTube channel and the different platforms. But I dig the service. I really enjoyed Titans. I've really enjoyed the show. I'm not in the scary thing, so I didn't watch Swamp Thing, and I haven't went back to watch Doom Patrol yet. And I like the you get one of the benefits to DC Universe is the DC animated movies, which has been a staple of my channel since they started. Where I do reviews. I review pretty much mostly, if not all, the releases. When a new movie comes out, not when it comes out digitally, because still digitally has first release rights to it. But once it comes out to home video, they make it available on actually DC Universe, which is a benefit for me because I normally, like I said, review most of them. I actually do the reviews for the movies exclusively now on the Patreon podcast feed. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, definitely want to do that for as a little as $1 a month. I do a whole nother exclusive podcast feed for the supporters of the Patreon, and that was one thing they voted on because I was doing the reviews here in the main podcast, and it was just not a lot of interest in the reviews when I did them. So the Patreons voted; they wanted to see me bring those back. So I've been doing those exclusively. So if you wonder if you used to see those reviews here and wonder if I still do them, I do them. But it's just a perk to the Patreon campaign because they requested me to do them, and when I saw the numbers dwindling here, I was like, okay, I'll give it to the people that want to listen to them. So I do those reviews over there. So definitely patreon.com/comic book savant, and again, for as little as $1 a month, you get access to that podcast feed that you would get those reviews on. And that's one big thing for me as well, which keeps me signed up for the service. Now, I wonder with the announcement this week of HBO Max, because AT&T, Warner Brothers, all that is one big conglomerate company. They introduced HBO Max earlier this week, as of the time this is being recorded, and we know Doom Patrol is coming over there. They announced things like it's going to be a Green Lantern inspired show that's going to be there that's supposed to tie into the Green Lantern Corps movie that they announced some time ago. So I don't know what that means for the future of DC Universe as a service. They said a few months back that the service wasn't going anywhere, but that was before this announcement, and it's not set to launch till like May of 2020, so we still are some months away. But it makes me kind of wonder where this fits in. They pretty much, HBO Max, they're pretty much said like if you already pay for like HBO Now, which is one of their big digital services, it kind of just transforms into HBO Max when that rolls out. And I wonder, will it be something like that since they're announcing that they're bringing shows over like Doom Patrol? I don't know, it's the Harley Quinn show. Then they also have the Green Lantern show that's going to be coming up. So I'm really curious about the future, but I'm not paying for it annually. I just pay for it for the month to month, and I don't regret that kind of now because I'm curious about the future. But for what it offers, I like it as a service, and if they would meld it in, would they keep the comics aspect of it? Because they've really worked hard to improve that recently, and I wouldn't want to lose that. That's worth, I hope. So I hope they keep this whole and separate. But it's the one downfall I will say to DC Universe as a service is that they don't have rights to every single piece of content. So when it comes to the movies, you don't have the newer DC EU or whatever they call it, the world of DC, whatever they're calling their theatrical universe. They don't have any of those movies there. They have all the animated stuff. They have things like Watchmen. They have like the old Batman movies on here, old Superman movies, and they rotate those films out. But those are the things they have available, and they don't have the newer television shows like the CW, Berlantiverse, Arrowverse like shows. Those are not available, which, from what they said in the announcement, they will be on HBO Max. So it makes it confusing, but it was when they, I guess, conceptualized DC Universe and was putting that all together, a lot of those shows had separate deals and some were on Netflix. Those distribution rights were all over the place. They said they would eventually come as those rights clear up. They will revert and eventually show up here, but I don't know, again, with HBO Max, how that all will work out in the long run. But my hope is, and this is why I've supported it pretty much from the beginning, I like this space for this service, and I think it's very unique because how they blend all the different mediums under the DC umbrella here in one service. And for $6.99, I kind of bellyached about it to the beginning, but starting to see these streaming wars come up for all these new streaming services, I feel like for what you get, it is not a bad price, and I willingly pay it month in and month out to support the service. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on as well. Next up, we have Comixology, which is an online digital retailer, but they also have a subscription service called Comixology Unlimited. It's a monthly fee of $5.99 a month before taxes. It's no annual subscription option yet. I'm hoping they eventually get one, but you have to pay that month to month, cancel at any time. Where pretty much since they're digital comic retailer, got tongue tied on there, it's kind of cool. And they offer in their subscription service, not everything on their site is a part of the subscription service. They have special banners marked on what books are available to you. You can check out up to 50 books at a time. Once you finish a book, you can return it, pick up another book, but you can have 50 checked out at any given time at once. Again, all the major publishers are on board. DC was the last holdout, and I think about 6 or so months ago, they finally joined the bandwagon. So you can get Marvel, you can get DC, you can get Image, you can get Valiant, you can get, I don't think it's any standouts now, Dynamite, Boom. All the different publishers are pretty much a part of Comixology Unlimited at this point. So for the price point of $5.99 a month, this is another service that I'm subscribed to. So I'm currently subscribed personally out of the services that I'm talking about here is DC Universe and Comixology Unlimited. And I have one more service I'm going to talk about in a moment. And I love Comixology Unlimited. This is my favorite of the subscription services because I like the variety in what books I can check out. You also have a lot of different perks similar to what I was speaking of with Marvel Unlimited, where you get discounts when you make digital purchases. It's the same thing with Comixology Unlimited, depending on the publishers, how much like a discount. I think for Marvel DC, you have like a 10 or 15% discount off the cover price. And they literally, like when you see whatever the cover price is, they'll have it marked down and you can see what discount you get and what your price is compared to what the regular retail price is of the item, which is cool. So they have those little bonuses built in there. And the awesome thing about the discounts you get is being a Comixology Unlimited subscriber. Say if they have a sale, you still get your discount above whatever the sale price is. So it helps you save even a little bit more. So like if a book is like, example is $199 and you get like a 15% discount, it knocks it down to like $169. So you save those little, those little dimes and change adds up and can allow you to buy another book or another 2 books if you're buying a bunch of books at one time. And I've taken full advantage of those discounts because I buy, again, primarily digital comics. So I check out books via the service as well as buy books when sales come up and on stuff that I want to go back and want to revisit. So it's an awesome service based on those recently. Some people don't like Comixology Unlimited like that. I swear by it. I think I've been subscribed to the Comixology Unlimited for two and a half years, going, pushing towards 3 years at this point. I think definitely, for sure, it's for sure for 2 years now. I've lost track. And I use it. I use it primarily as my primary go-to for reading digital comics that I buy, as well as it's my primary digital comic platform at this point. It's Comixology and Comixology Unlimited. Great service. Last but not least, I could not leave this off because it's launching, at the time of this recording, it's launching in roughly about 2 weeks. It's Disney Plus. I've already signed up. I got a great deal for a 3-year. You pay, you get 3 years, but you pay the price of like 2 years. I signed up for 3 years already for Disney Plus. It retails, I think, for $6.99 a month. They got the yearly subscription cost at $69.99. Reason why I included Disney Plus, it doesn't have comics included, but it has the Marvel movies. They have original content that is coming. They've already announced a whole slate of shows over the next 2 to 3 years that are going to be coming to Disney Plus. They have original Marvel programming and like behind the scenes shows, plus the movies will be there. A lot of the old Marvel comics, cartoons and animation from our childhood is going to be made available there, so I can't wait. Like the 90s X-Men, the 90s Spider-Man, the all the even older Spider-Man, the 60s like Spider-Man cartoons. All of that stuff is going to be available on that platform. So it's for $6.99 a month. And you still have access to all the other Disney properties. National Geographic is under the Disney Plus umbrella. Marvel, Disney, Pixar, all of that. So for everything that you get included in that, it's a steal, and it's one again that I'm subscribed to already and look really forward, because we're a big Disney household. So it was a no-brainer to get that. So again, you don't have the comics portion in that, but you get the live action portion in there, which the Disney Marvel movies are huge. Not all of them are going to be available at launch, again, because distribution deals, but they will be rolling on. Everything, I think, from Captain Marvel on is exclusively going to Disney Plus when it releases on streaming platforms going forward, but it's still other stuff lingering, and you don't also have access to like the Marvel Netflix shows. And I guess I could include Netflix. If you haven't finished watching those shows, they all have ended at this point, because they ended their relationship, because Disney, of course, with Disney Plus became a rival of Netflix. So all the Marvel Netflix shows were canceled, and it's different platforms to Netflix. I think I pay like $12.99 a month before taxes for that to have those shows. And it was Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher. So they've had multiple shows that all of the shows except for Defenders had at least 2 seasons. I think Jessica Jones, Daredevil had 3 seasons. Yeah, they were the only ones that had 3 seasons. Again, great shows. So you can include Netflix on as a bonus subscription service. Like I said, I think I have the base high definition plan, I think, and it's like $12.99 a month. That's something you want to consider if you want access to that content and some of the movies. But again, they're eventually in the next, I think, year or so, will be rolling off of Netflix and then showing up onto Disney Plus. But you do have the Marvel Netflix shows will stay and live on the Netflix platform. So for that, if you haven't finished watching those shows, they're worth checking out. You might want to consider Netflix, but most people are already subscribed to Netflix. It's rare to find anybody nowadays that is not at least subscribed to Netflix. Even though they might not watch it much, it is an option for them and they subscribe to it. So those, like I said, I just wanted to touch on some of these things. Again, we're going into the holidays. People will be gifting stuff. You want to know what to ask for. So if you're not already signed up to these great subscription services, I wanted to, again, break them down as best as possible, tell you about them, give you price points so you can know what to ask for, know what to look for, or know what to get for yourself if you want to treat yourself to some of these services. And I think DC Universe has a 7-day free trial. Comixology Unlimited has a month free trial. I think Disney Plus, when that launches in a couple of weeks, will have a 7-day free trial. And I think, because I've done so many of them, I think Marvel Unlimited, if you've never tried it before, you can get a free month trial. But a lot of times they float a lot of different codes in comics. Sometime, even on their site, if you look, they'll be like, if you push in this code, or if you're on their mailing list, they'll occasionally mail me something like, hey, if you want to go come back and try it for a month, use this code, get a free month of the service. And I would say trial these services, do the free trial first to get a feel for the service, to see if it fits into your flow, or if it's something that you would actually use before committing, signing up month to month or doing a year subscription. Test drive that baby before you purchase that baby. That's what I say. But that's all I have for you guys for this episode. It was something that had been on my mind. We kind of have been talking about it, and I noticed I haven't done a lot of content on this part of the Comic Book Savant platform about it, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of interest in it. But I start hearing feedback from people, from emails as well as in the Facebook group about it. So I figured it would be cool to sit down, have a conversation with you guys, put that bug in your ear if it's something you're interested in or were curious about it and wanted more information. That's why I like to do these comic book discussion episodes, to draw on a particular topic related to our hobby, and hopefully give you as much useful information as possible that will help you make a decision about the topic at hand. So hopefully I did that successfully. As always, I'm your host, James Harris. This is the Comic Book Savant podcast. You guys stay safe. And until we speak again, you guys be careful, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.